Welcome to Greater Conversation. I'm gonna be talking about the Washington Commanders today. That's my team. Been a fan for about 20 years, 20 plus years, probably more than that. Probably came out the womb with Washington Redskins at the time. Washington Commanders now, fan. But I just came from workout and I saw Scott Turner got fired. So that's a big W for us. And we ain't had too many W's with this franchise, man, with the owner, you know, blah, blah, this and that. Scott Turner, man, it was about his time to go. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, with the offense that we have, the receivers that we have, hey, there's no reason why we shouldn't be top 5 in offensive category, in every category, offensive category. Scary Terry, Samuel, De'Ami Brown, Jahan Dotson, Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson. We should be top 5. We should be #1 in the division. NFC East, we should be top 5 in the NFL. No excuses. But I feel bad for him because he's a man. He probably has a family. But at the same time, man, hey, it's a business. It's a business, man. Hey, there was no excuses for some of the games. We was putting up 12 points. 12 points in the National Football League. We was putting up 12 points with that offensive, those offensive threats. That's crazy to me. Scary Terry, in my opinion, top 5 receiver. He hasn't had a QB since he made it in the league. He's for the past 3 years, consecutive years, he's been over 1,000 yards receiving. We had mediocre QBs. The last QB I liked, well, I liked Kirk Cousins, but he was inconsistent. He never played good in the big games. The last good QB we had was RG3. And he had a year and a half that was pretty good. A year. Injuries slowed down his career, but that was the last time. That was like 2012. That's a long time. Not gonna lie. It was about Scott Turner time to go. Putting up 12 points. Inconsistent play calling. The players that were against them, the rumor going around, well, it was really not a rumor, it's actually true. The people on the team, they want to go on. Hey, with the talent that they have on the Washington Commanders, there's no reason for the Washington Commanders offense in every category should be top 5. 2 of the best 2 running backs duos in the NFL. Top 10 receiving core could be top 5 with a better QB, consistent QB. It's just crazy to me. It was putting up sometimes like it wasn't even, when we get in the end zone, bro. We get in the red zone. I wasn't even scoring touchdowns. Sometimes he would run the ball 3 times in a row in the red zone and throw it on fourth down, or run it 2 times or throw it on third down. Like, as a former defensive player, I'm expecting that. Like, it was situations where the personnel wasn't on the field. The people that were supposed to be on the field weren't on the field. They say that his play calling was predictable. And as a defensive player, like, if you're predictable in the offense, like, it's practice. It's like practice to it. It was about his time to go to, as a family man, I feel bad for him. He probably get a shot in college, probably get a shot somewhere else. And he probably will thrive somewhere else. It's always how it happens. Coaches, they leave here and go somewhere and do hella good. But we need to look for a young offensive coordinator. We don't need to go to an NFL offensive coordinator, because most offensive coordinators in the NFL, they're trying to get a head coach's job. And if they're worth something, they're not going to leave their situation and come to the Washington Commanders when it's unstable with the owner, the coaching staff. You don't know if Ryan's going to be here next year. Well, not next year. You don't know how next year's going to go. You don't know if he's going to get fired, if we go on a losing streak in the middle of the season. It's just unstable. We don't have a QB. But Sam Howell, like, though he played one game, mentally you can see that he's built for it. That's the difference between him and Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins' last couple of games, he was solid, but mentally, I don't think it was there. R.I.P. to Dwayne Haskins, but Sam Howell, he has it mentally, and he gonna run that mug too. He gonna run it if it ain't there. Taylor Heinicke used to be like that, but I feel like he understands that it's his money year. You gotta be kind of selfish in this situation because there's millions on the line. We gotta resign him also. We gotta resign Taylor Heinicke for a backup. We gotta give him at least $5 million a year. If I was them, I would do 3 years, $5 million, $10 million guaranteed plus incentive. But I would build around Sam Howell. He looked like he had the power to make it down, to throw it down the field. He had the accuracy. He know when to run the ball. He needed to slide more because he took like two hits that we don't like. But I would feel more comfortable next year than I did this year with Carson Wentz and with Taylor Heinicke. It's like you bringing in vets, man, that don't have no chemistry with the locker room or the receivers, and you're bringing in vets that the other teams don't want. We gotta stop living in the past, man. We gotta build around a QB, build around a young QB. Most QBs now are running the ball or dual threats. What I mean, most QBs right now are dual threats. And Sam Howell, man, he can make any throw. Sideline to sideline. He was throwing to Terry, Scary Terry. He was throwing to Jahan. Stride. Jahan had a drop, but he didn't right in stride. Terry, he hit him right in stride. That's what I like to see, though. I like to see that the mental aspect of it is big in football. Football is mostly mental. So when you see a QB handle stuff mentally, you see him handle the blitz right. That's a big plus. Now all we have to do is probably have to get a center. I would draft a center that can play also guard, or I would draft a guard that can play center, vice versa, or a guard that can play also tackle. We need offensive linemen that can play multiple positions. So, because every year we have injuries on the offensive line, and we don't know what to do. They act like they don't know what to do when they come down to it. They be shoving people around. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, it's a W, man. It's a big W. Now we need to go get a college. We need to go get a college offensive coordinator that wants to build around Sam Howell, that understands how offense ran these days. Running when you're supposed to run it, throw it most of the time. This ain't 1995 where you run about 40 times, you throw it 15. It works, but it works to it got a ceiling though. Like you have to be Tom Brady in his prime. You got to be Aaron Rodgers in his prime, and sometimes it still don't work because if you play an elite defense, the run game is not always going to be there. So if the run game is not going to be there in the game, that means they're going to focus more on, as a defense player, I'm going to focus. If I'm stopping the run, I'm going to focus more on the pass. So you might have one of those games, like I said, you make it to the playoffs. You might have one of those games where you killing it all season, you get to the playoffs, everybody good. Everybody locked in. So that means, that'll probably mean like, you'll probably have one of your worst offensive play calling days. So we need to get a young offensive coordinator. I like Todd Monken. It's a pretty destination for him. With the receiver core we got, the running backs we got. Sam Howell, sign Taylor Heinicke back for backup. We feel comfortable if something happens to Sam Howell. Bring in Taylor Heinicke. If you feel like it's a QB on the board that is either better or the same, nah, we can't get no QB that's the same. If he ain't better, don't draft him. We can always wait till next year. I like KJ Jefferson. I like the boy from Florida. We're not gonna get Bryce or the one from Ohio State. We're not gonna get him. We're gonna have to trade too much, and we ain't got time for all that. We'll be taking 2 steps back. But think about it though. If we get offensive line with those weapons, a solid offensive line, it'll be just like the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, he was a game from the Super Bowl, he was championship, like that's how we really built the same as the 49ers. But if we get, I feel like Sam Howell has a higher ceiling than Garoppolo though. It's me. But if we get a vet, the only vet I would be okay with is Garoppolo. Not Derek Carr. They don't want him over there. He throw too many interceptions. Tom Brady, he'll come over here trying to run stuff. I respect the GOAT. He the GOAT Brady's all the time, but he'll be over here trying to run stuff. He can't throw it 60 yards and stride. Terry, he a legit 4-3. You gotta throw that mug stride for stride. And I don't feel too comfortable with Tom Brady coming over here, even if he would come over here. If he would even come over here. Eric Bieniemy, however you say his name, no disrespect, from the Kansas City Chiefs, he wouldn't come over, he wouldn't leave the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he would not leave that to go sideways. He would not leave them to, even though might probably have more weapons and it's an easier division. Probably. It's probably an easier division than the AFC. I'm talking about AFC, NFC. It's probably an easier division. But at the same time, though, you can't leave Patrick Mahomes if you're trying to get a head coaching job down the line. But if you feel comfortable with OC job, hey, Washington is where it's at. We got some weapons. We got some draft picks. They drafted good last year. They got some late picks. They drafted good. I feel like we're gonna have an even better draft this year. We need to get about 2 offensive linemen. We need to get a tight end. Like I know they have Cole Turner and Martin Rogers, but I ain't too big on Logan Thomas, man. I feel like mentally he ain't gonna be able to be that no more. Like his power and his blocking, his speed. He got great hands, but his speed ain't there. Like we gotta get younger. Cole Turner, Martin Rogers, and draft a legit like Wisconsin type tight end, like one of them. We need one of them over here. But get a tight end, get one more DB, get a linebacker. You know, Khalid Hudson, he plays. Hey, I don't know why he not playing season. That boy look good. He was fast. He should have been playing over Mayo and Boston. I ain't even get on that. That's making me mad. But back to Scott Turner though. It was a W for the Washington Commanders. I didn't think it was gonna happen this soon, but we heading in the right direction. They said they're gonna try to do joint practices next year to get us up to speed. Soft tissue injury will probably stop all of that. But yeah, go get a young offensive coordinator, team him up with Sam Howell, draft some old linemen. We there. We almost there. We just need at least about 4 or 5 more positions. Our DBs might need one more DB. I like what DBs did last week. We got depth now. You can say we have depth if we draft another cornerback or Kyle Fuller, And we had a couple injuries this year, but that's the thing with the great teams is that when they have injuries, they have people to replace them. They're not as good. They're productive. And we're not productive when we lose our key players consistently. And that's the difference between a good team and a great team. A playoff team and a Super Bowl team. But yeah.